NPC theory, is it a fact or fiction? Just take a look around. Just look at how things once was back in the day. Just having a normal conversation with somebody. They would actually think, even if it's an opinion, what's your opinion on the weather? Now, when you ask them something simple as that, they would regurgitate something they heard or saw from the meteorologist because they look at them as, okay, that person is the expert. Everything they say is gold. Everything they say, I should just believe it wholeheartedly. And if the meteorologist is not saying this, then for me to say it out loud, I should be deemed as crazy. I shouldn't say it because the meteorologists that I'm watching on TV, they didn't say it. They wouldn't say it, even though they too are reading off a teleprompter. They're looking at how things measure out. They could be wrong about certain things. This is why sometimes they'll get on TV and they'll say one thing and the weather will turn out to be another way, because it's weather, it's nature. Naturally, they're going to make mistakes sometimes, and that's normal. And that's an extreme version of just following along and regurgitating talking points instead of actually thinking things through before you answer something. You see it online all the time. Doesn't matter what platform you go on. What's your opinion about coming out of the gas station? You're both at the gas pump. You happen to spark up a conversation. Hey, what do you think about the gas prices? They'll repeat something that they heard that caters to either the Democratic side or the conservative side, instead of telling you exactly what they think. What is your opinion? How did you come to that conclusion, that mindset you have? How was it built? But instead, they would choose the lazy way based off of their political leanings. No longer have the ability to be objective. In the 90s, we had objective thought. We didn't agree with anybody 100% of the time. In today's climate, you're starting to see that on the conservative side, we're more willing to be balanced and objective about what we're seeing. When you ask us, we won't say anything right away. We still will think about what we're saying first. We'll pause and actually think. And I'm noticing on the liberal side, it seems that when you're having a conversation with somebody who's a Democratic voter, who's more of the progressive liberal side, they won't think and ponder what they're going to say before they say it. The whole time that you're talking, you can tell they're not listening to what you're saying at all. They're waiting for a chance to insert a disagreeable rebuttal, not something they thought out. They're playing mental hopscotch in the jump rope. These are how the conversations with a lot of liberals nowadays go. They're not listening to what you're saying at all. It doesn't matter what numbers you pose or how you even came to that answer that you gave or your stance, where you're coming from. It doesn't matter. They're waiting for their double dutch opportunity to jump in the rope so they can regurgitate something that was said on CNN, MSNBC. And when you point that out, like clockwork, they say, well, it's better than watching Fox. My opinion and my stance has nothing to do with Fox. I didn't get it from Fox News. I got it on my own. I found individual sources to get my information. From the internet, it sent me to a link. Check the link. I still go to the library, grab a book. Where's the source material? Where did it come from? Books are still a great thing. I know a lot of people just turn their nose up to books and things like that, like, something wrong with reading books all of a sudden. You can, if you're better listening to information than actually reading out of a book, there is a such thing called ebooks where you can listen to a book. But nowadays, it's like people have a copy and paste way of talking about things. It's like ideas have been implanted in people's mind before it even comes out of their mouth. It's like the idea has already been implanted in them. It's like people are just wandering around the world like clapping seals to anything someone says. We were never meant to be that way. The most interactions people have is through their phone, through the internet. It's how we talk and communicate to each other online. Facebook, X, YouTube, if you're putting out content, if you're getting on panels with people. But there's no more face-to-face actual conversations that will make you think about a question or a topic or the subject matter before you even say anything, before it even comes out of your mouth. So the NPC theory, I can see that now in the current world and environment that we're living in. And it's kind of crazy because you can pose a trap question. Basically, the trap question is you'll present a question a certain kind of way because you're trying to see if you're going to get a regurgitated answer. You ask a question in a way that you kind of know would be triggering to an NPC just to see if they're going to take the bait. It's like, okay, I'm going to ask this question like this. And if they get mad and they resort to hurling insults instead of addressing the actual subject matter, you know right there you're dealing with an NPC. People have become so hollow inside. It's almost like they're not even real people anymore. It's the craziest thing. You guys remember that video game, The Sims, how you would create a character and that character would go about its normal day doing certain things. It would interact with other NPCs online. Everybody would build their own avatar, this whole virtual world. And these NPCs will go about their life. Some situations they have jobs. They go to the supermarket. They have neighbors they talk to. They would give these canned answers, these predictable answers to certain questions. It's almost like we are the real life version of The Sims combined with GTA Online. Those of you that are familiar and play that, it's basically a cutthroat, uncensored version of The Sims where you can actually commit violence and crime while at the same time the game shows you in real time the penalties for those crimes that you're committing. You buy, own, and run businesses. Now, unlike The Sims, your character doesn't really say anything. You'll have NPCs come up to you. They'll say various things like, if you bump into them, predicted answers, they'll call you a name or run from, one of the two is going to happen. All of a sudden, real life has turned into that. Just think about it. When you have conversations with people and you ask them the triggering question one way or another, what do you think about Donald Trump? If their response is, well, I still don't understand how they can allow a 34-time convicted felon to be president. As soon as they say that, right away they got that from CNN, MSNBC, because that's all they say and regurgitate all day, all the time. It's virtual audio programming via propaganda. Propaganda is the delivery form that they just ramrod that into people's brain. So now when you ask them anything about Trump, that canned response is regurgitated out of their mouths. Or in comment sections on Facebook, Instagram, X. Ask them what do they think about Teslas. A few years ago, they love Teslas. They love what Elon Musk is doing for the environment. Great idea. Electric automobiles. Tesla, the best electric car, I'm not going to say software, hardware, everything that comes with Tesla was the greatest thing since sliced bread a few years ago, until Elon Musk decided to align himself with Donald Trump. All of a sudden, Teslas are the worst. It's the worst company in the world. Just like clockwork. When women first started saying they wanted a man with six-pack over 6 downstairs, and that's the new criteria. And a lot of women started echoing and parroting each other, saying the same thing. This is what they want. This is their definition of what a real man is. And during that time, ironically, they never mentioned what they would do for the man because that was never important. They didn't care. They just started regurgitating the NPC theory. Mentally, a lot of black people have a canned NPC response triggering mechanism when it comes to racism. And it's gone so far. Roland Martin just released a video talking about him down at Texas A&M wearing the A&M jersey. A white guy asked him, did you play? I forgot the other question. Did you play or did you attend? Maybe those were the questions. And he was so offended by that simple question. He responded, no, I graduated. And he walks off because he was offended by the question. This is how much energy and attention black people have chose to bathe in the river of racism. They love it. A lot of black people love it. They're addicted to racism. I think a lot of black people want white people to be racist to them so they can say, see, I knew it. They would mess around and short circuit. Their brains would just turn into sandwich spread, Miracle Whip, applesauce, just turn into mush at that point in time, while simultaneously being glad. You know what? I knew it all along. I knew you hated me because I was black. The NPC theory has rotten people's brains. It's gotten to the point where it's utterly ridiculous. Might as well be them. When you walk outside and you see people going about their day, doing whatever it is they do, a lot of them have the same mentality as the people you see on your screen right now. You interact with them, they're only going to have a few answers for you. They're only going to be able to steer you in a couple directions conversationally. Their responses to certain questions almost guaranteed will be the same, as if somebody wrote out a prompt for them, a pre-written script, put it on a teleprompter, standing behind you, showing it to them. You saw how Kamala was when her teleprompter went down. She damn near short-circuited in front of the world because she's an NPC. Mentally, it has gotten super weird out here in these streets. Even in YouTube streets, you can come across a whole lot of NPC behavior and thoughts and videos. Like, holy shit. Nobody thinks for themselves anymore. That was one of the great things about the 80s and the 90s. Everybody had individual thought. You didn't agree with anybody 100% of the time, and that was a great thing because you are not supposed to do that. You as an individual are supposed to move like that mentally. You're supposed to be open to new information, and then you take that information and you double, triple, and quadruple on searching for yourself, cross-referencing, reading tea leaves. That's how you come to your conclusion, how you view certain things, what you know. And if somebody else doesn't agree with you, that's fine. They have to do that on their own, find their way. That used to be how it worked. Now everybody just wants to do and say the same things. That's why you have a bunch of women running around with the snuffleupagus eyelashes. I have no idea why they think that looks good. And sometimes it just seems like, and now a lot of men have gotten to the point where we're like, all right, do what you do. That's why you go to these single dating events, these speed dating events, and there's 80 single women and only 10 men to choose from. And you wonder why things like this happen. It's the NPC mindset. It's not even a theory anymore. It's all around us. Crazy, crazy world we live in. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the NPC theory. Do you notice it? Especially if you a Gen Xer, cross-reference the 90s, how people used to act and interact with each other. Even in situations where y'all didn't agree. Was it a big issue? No. Could you tell right away where they was getting their information from based off of their answer and their responses? No. But you knew everybody had individual thought back then. Everybody had their own unique ways that they moved, ways that they thought. Now it's all the same. Crazy. Anyway, let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, share it, and this transmission is over.